22 minutes past 7. Welcome back to Sunrise Today. Well, yes, that's what we're starting off with today, and we're joined by Senator Enyinaya Baribe, who is the Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Publicity. Thank you for coming on this morning, Senator.
Thank you.
Listening to that of the Senate, quite different from the version of the House of Representatives. And one wondered, and then looking through some reports published, that those who are talking about a certain group of senators saying, look, they will not let this go through. What exactly happened in the Senate? How come there's no conclusion yet?
Well, what happened is this. We normally take our time to do proper consultations on matters of very, very serious national interest. And when the matter came up for us to discuss the state of emergency, we, rather than do a debate before having a briefing by the security chiefs, we decided that you don't debate in isolation. You don't debate, without the facts on the ground. We have had a state of emergency for a period. Now, we needed to be told by those who are in the security process what exactly has happened within this period. They needed to give us their milestones, whether they were met, what are the problems, and what is the way going forward. And therefore, we decided to invite the service chiefs to come and give us comprehensive briefing. And then subsequently, we will, of course, discuss the matter. What you heard that were some dissent was before we had the briefing by the service chiefs and the security agencies. And I think that we were very well aware. Today, we now know far much more than at the point at which those dissenting voices were heard. So I think that by Tuesday, when we now get into the debate and then do the voting, we probably will come out, or I'm very certain that what we're going to come out with will be what is in the best interest of Nigeria.
When you say you're going to discuss with the stakeholders, who are the stakeholders besides the security?
Well, the stakeholders that we mean in this sense, not just us within the confines of the National Assembly. Everybody is there from a constituency. So we have given this little time between now and Tuesday to discuss with the presidency that brought, of course, the request. We discuss with the state governors and the stakeholders within that area. And of course, we'll also go back to our various constituencies, because this is a Nigerian problem, and we think that every Nigerian should have a say in how we go on forward from here.
Before yesterday, one of the senators from, I think from Borno, had said they had a meeting and they were deciding that they were going to vote against an extension of the state of emergency. Do you think those group of senators would have changed their positions even with the discussion with the security chiefs?
Well, that was a statement that was made before we had the briefing yesterday by the security chiefs. And I think that certain things that maybe they didn't know before were now brought to the fore to them. And so I'm very optimistic that most likely their views about what was going on there will be a little different. If you're outside and maybe you're just getting reports from your people, or people calling you on the phone and telling you this is what has happened, until you talk to the main persons, the dramatis personae, which is the security chiefs that we spoke with, then you will now see actually what is going on, what their constraints are, and how they intend to pursue this matter. Because this question of state of emergency, of course, as you know, it comes with a whole lot of other things which we must all take into consideration.
You know, looking at some other things, constitutionally speaking now, do we have any provision for any further extension after the first and the second?
Yes, there's no limit to the extension in the Constitution.
Is it stated categorically?
Yes, there's no limit. I think you can continue, until the situation is brought to the level where we can now say, let us dispense with it.
So we assume that, pardon me,
Yeah.
we assume that majority of the senators will be on the same page to approve the extension.
Well, let me not speak on behalf of the Senate in terms of a voting that is not yet done, but I think that we all have seen the need for making provisions that will bring to rapid resolution of what is going on in the Northeast.
Speaking about, you said it does come with so many other things, the state of emergency. Something very rare occurred only recently, how soldiers and an officer shot at a GOC. Does that suggest, it does suggest, many people will say, all may not appear to be well.
Well, we're at war. That's what first things that we need to do, and all manners of things happen in a conflict situation. So we really don't know. The army, when we also try to find out from them what is going on, and they told us that they're handling it. There's a board of inquiry that is set up, and until the board of inquiry comes out and then all the facts come out, whatever else we are going to do will be mere speculation. But I know that in a conflict situation, always you may not see things to be as smooth as you would like them to be. So, but that is purely military and disciplinary matter within the military. I think they should be able to handle that.
But the circumstances that led up to that, we've not heard of it before. And some of the things they were complaining about, is the Senate not bothered that this might be a stumbling block in their fight against the insurgency?
Well, that is part of the reason why we have this type of interaction. Usually, when these things happen and there are all manners of information coming to us, we seek to have information, we seek to discuss it with them, and we seek to know what is going on, why is this thing happening, what has happened to, is there any precedent, is there anything that is going on that is leading to this? And usually we have the Committee on Defense and the different subcomponents, the Defense and Army, Defense and Air Force, Defense and Navy, and so forth, and Committee on National Intelligence. And we usually ask them to get us the information, then we will discuss it, and then we will take decisions based on that.
Without going into details, Nigerians would want to know what you took out of that auspicious meeting with the security chiefs, because they would want to know if after that meeting, from what you gathered, there seemed to be an end in sight, or it's a hopeless situation, or you think, we have actually not done what we should have done before, so perhaps we should re-strategize and rejig.
Well, one thing I can tell you that we took out of that meeting, it's not a hopeless situation. It's not a situation that cannot be handled. Of course, like I said earlier, we also saw that there were a lot of constraints, and you could when you're talking with them, something also came out. This is the Nigerian military that has actually, been commended in all parts of the world where they have served and everything. And all of a sudden, because of the frustrations that Nigerians are feeling, what they get from Nigerians is not support and commendation. Rather, they're getting a lot of bashing, And we will plead with Nigerians to, see the military that they're not incompetent as is being made to look like. They have certain problems. And the theater that they are also operating also prove, it's a constraint. They're not fighting an external aggression, in which case you could have a clearly drawn battle lines. They are fighting an insurgency that is also embedded within the population. And so the rules of engagement from their normal training is quite different. And that has now made that there must be retraining, there must be a change in tactics, there must be a way. And this restraint is making it a little more difficult. And of course, there is also the other aspect, which most people have not taken. Because of the explosion in information within the whole world, as it were. So we are also doing comparisons between what our people are doing and what is happening elsewhere. And of course, you know that in several theaters of conflict now, I remember that the last time, the U.S. troops were in Afghanistan, they even had journalists embedded within the troops, and so they could follow, real time, and at a risk, of course, with what's going on. And our people simply think that we should be able to replicate all those things here, and of course, we have the very serious constraints that we cannot do that, and therefore that creates some gap that is filled with, innuendos and...
So in bridging that gap, Senator Baribe, how best can we drum up more support and boost the morale of our troops?
Well, what we do is what we're doing at the moment: engage with the military, find out what their problems are, help them to be able to overcome it. On our part, as the legislative house, our job is to, if it is the enabling environment, the laws they need to be able to use, we help them to do that. If it is in provision of funding and being able to give them the proper budgetary allocations for them, we do that. And if, of course, be able to interface with the public, which is what we're doing now, we also do that and tell everybody that the situation can be controlled, and we think that we are reaching the control. Like I said, the briefing is what are the milestones and which ones have you reached and which ones have you not reached and where do you want to go, and they made that very clear to us.